We're back out here once again, and today we're talking about a technique that just got crushed. All day, time and time again, those bass would not leave it alone. And the surprising part about it is the remarkable conditions and places I was fishing it. Well, what are we talking about? Well, stick around. You don't want to miss this one. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good fish there, kids. Ooh, he's got some fight in him. Oh, come on now. Whoa, that's a big fish. I hope I got him good. That's the biggest fish of the day. Holy cow, that's a big fish. That's a huge fish. Come here, you. Come here. Oh, you are not going anywhere. And here's this video's featured comment. Congratulations! If you would like to have a chance to have your comment featured in an upcoming video, all you've got to do is leave a comment. And now, on with the video. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And here recently I did a video about how I was able to go out to the big lake and use one technique, one presentation, and catch tons of bass all day long. Those bass hammered that bait time and time again. It wasn't anything complicated or fancy. It was just this guy right here. This is just a 1/4 ounce jig. I've taken the skirt off of it and I've put a swim bait on the back. This is a Rage Swimmer, but you can use whatever type of swim bait you like best. You guys have been calling this the lowbrow rig, but what it is a real easy and convenient way of being able to fish a swim bait in heavily vegetated waters and not having to get worried about getting gummed up on every single cast. Now, before we get too far into this, I want to take a minute to thank everyone for the amount of support you guys have shown my online store over at diamondbackbaits.myshopify.com. If you haven't had a chance to go over there and look at the handmade jigs that I make myself personally, go over there and take a look. You're really going to like them. And I appreciate the DMs and the emails that I've been getting every single day, especially with the pictures of the nice fish you guys have been catching. So again, thank you very much. I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comment below as well as in the description. So check it out. All right, so I did the same thing again last time I was out at the big lake. I was able to use one technique, one bait all day long and catch a ton of fish. And what was it? Well, this guy right here. You say, lowbrow, that's a caffeine shad. That's a soft plastic jerkbait. And I've got it rigged weightless on an EWG, Texas rigged, right? We all know this is a great fish catcher, especially during the fall. It makes sense that it works just like that swim bait. Those bass are going to be chasing bait, they're going to be feeding up, so something like this can really get the job done. The surprising part was the conditions that I was fishing it in. It was super, super windy, as it has been here lately. 25-mile-an-hour winds, steady. In that little plastic boat, I was just getting shoved right along. And another thing I was doing is I was actually fishing it in some deeper water. You say, lowbrow, that's crazy. I don't fish a finesse setup whenever it's super windy and in deeper water. You know, that's a recipe for a long, boring day, isn't it? Something where you have a lot of frustration. But that's not at all what happened. I decided I was going to give it a try just to see. Just to try something different, just to see how I could get those bass to respond. And it was way more than I anticipated. They were really keyed in on that particular bite, on that particular presentation all day long. Now, I had to fish it a bit differently. I had to make sure I had the wind at my back so I could make casts. And I was making some long casts. Now, when I was working it, I had to be very mindful of the amount of slack that was being blown into my line, because that boat was drifting along pretty fast and I was approaching my bait in the water pretty quick, so I had to make sure that I didn't have too much slack in my line. But once I took care of those things, well, it was actually not too bad to fish. And, well, not too long after I started fishing it, I actually started finding fish.
Ooh, that's a good one. Gotta catch up to him. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good fish. That's a good fish, kids. That's a good fish right there. Right there. On the old caffeine shad. Had him pretty good. Had him pretty good. Had him pretty good. Come on. Right on the top of the mouth, just like you like. I'm gonna have to get him free. There we go. Come on, wrap around. He's not huge or anything. Not even a pound. 3/4 of a pound. But it was fun to catch. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, let's go get some more.
All right, that wasn't a huge bass. Maybe 3/4 of a pound, but still, again, as we say around here, that was information. And it was one of those rare days where the smallest fish is the one that I caught first. As the day progressed and I began fishing that bait in that wind, I started to get a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And each time I was finding bass. They were hammering that caffeine shad. And I like fishing a fluke. I like fishing a jerkbait. You guys know I like those cheap cream jerkbaits. I even tried it out to a different type of jerkbait, a different type of fluke. I actually went to these guys just to see, and this is a Zoom Super Fluke, you know, the salty fluke I guess they are, in a green pumpkin magic color. I even switched to these because this was the same color of the swim bait I was using the day that I had the really good day with the lowbrow rig, with that swim bait. But I didn't get a single bite. They wanted this. They wanted the caffeine shad, and they wanted it in this particular color. And I got hammered time and time again. So even if I would move a little bit farther down the lake, a little bit deeper water, those bass were still very much interested, as this guy is proof of.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a better one right there, kids. That's a nice fish. Come on, you. They want this caffeine shad today for sure. They want this caffeine shad today. It's a nice fish right there. Oh no! You flung my caffeine shad off, you little booger. Go ahead then. These have been no doubters all day. Biggest one of the day. Over a pound, pushing a pound and a quarter. Beautiful, beautiful bass. Thank you so much, little dude. All right, let's go get another one.
So again, a little bit bigger fish, about a pound and a quarter. We'll take those all day long. But that wasn't the end of the story, because as the day progressed, I was still finding fish even as I was getting to deeper and deeper and deeper water. And I ended up fishing about 15 feet of water with a weightless fluke. And I wasn't really fishing it super, super deep. That was the surprising part about it. I wasn't casting it down and letting it float all the way down. I was giving it a few seconds to make sure it was maybe 3 to 5 feet down. I wanted it to be in that depth, but I didn't want to go all the way down. And I was working it very gently, twitching it a little bit on a slack line, and then letting it fall back down. And in the super clear water that we have, I could see that bait, so that was a definite plus. Even with a lot of the chop on the water, a lot of those waves, I could still see that shimmer of that caffeine shad under the water. And that allowed me to basically refine my presentation, to make sure that I wanted to get it exactly where I wanted it to be. I let it sink down on the cast, about 3 to 5 feet, just like you would a regular jerkbait. And then I tap it a couple times, it would dart side to side, and then I would let it sink back down. And the thing was, is I was heading back to the truck to put the boat back on the truck after a great day out on the water. That's when I landed into the biggest bass of the day. And boy, was she a beauty.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good fish there, kids. Ooh, he's got some fight in him. Oh, come on now. Whoa, that's a big fish. I hope I got him good. That's the biggest fish of the day. Holy cow, that's a big fish. That's a huge fish. Come here, you. Come here. Oh, you are not going anywhere. Got you. Look at you. I'm telling you what. Come on, cut it out. Cut it. Will you quit slapping around? He had that hook. He wasn't going anywhere. You are going on Instagram, my friend. That caffeine shad right there. 3.5, 4 pound. Right close to it. Look at that. All that yellow on there. He's pretty close to 4. I'm going to say 3.5. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Thank you so much. We sure do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there he goes. Huge bass. All right. Let's see if we can't get one more.
A nice 4-pound bass on that caffeine shad. You have to love it. So the more I fished it, the more those bass liked it. And it's not even a hard technique. You can easily do it whether you're a bank angler or whether you're fishing from a boat. From the bank, it's going to be absolute money. I have fished a fluke, a soft jerkbait, a caffeine shad from the bank many, many times and caught hundreds of nice fish doing that. Those caffeine shads just seem to produce a nicer quality of fish. So next time you're out on the water and you want to try something different, you want to see if those bass really are chasing bait or whatever it is they're keying off on, right? Something slow, something subtle, something finesse. Don't be afraid of the wind. Don't be afraid of the water depth. Give it a try and watch those big girls inhale that bait. So there you have it. I was once again able to go out to the water and use one technique, one presentation all day long and catch tons of great bass. Now, the moral of the story is, don't be afraid of the changing conditions. Sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves and we overthink things. But if it looks like it should be a good thing, then fish it. You never know. It may not work, but sometimes it just might. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.